A very good morning, students, to all of you. This is Dr. Sanjana Sharma from the Department of English. Students, in our last class, we discussed life and achievements of famous romantic poet William Wordsworth, and I told you that Wordsworth is variously called the harbinger of nature, the high priest of nature, and the worshipper of nature, because he was the poet of nature par excellence, and his chief originality is to be found in his poetry of nature. From his very boyhood, the external world was the most important formative influence on him. Students, the poem that we are going to do today, that poem that we are going to analyze today, its title is The Word is Too Much With Us, and this is a very beautiful sonnet written by Wordsworth. Students, this is a Petrarchan sonnet. Wordsworth had achieved great success as a writer of sonnet. And students, it will be interesting for you to know that it was in the year 1801 that one afternoon Wordsworth's sister Dorothy read to him a few sonnets of Milton. Students, Wordsworth was struck by their dignity, simplicity, and majestic harmony. And that very afternoon, he produced 3 sonnets. Wordsworth continued to write in this genre up to the close of his career and produced more than 500 sonnets. Students, let us first go through the poem that we are going to analyze today. The text is there before you. The poem begins, and Wordsworth says that the word is too much with us, late and soon, getting and sleeping, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon. The sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hour, and are upgathered now like sleeping flower. This, students, is a philosophical poem full of poetic beauty. It expresses Wordsworth's disgust with the materialism of the age. Wordsworth says that word is too much with us. Late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We constantly think about this word. All our attention is concentrated upon this word. We think only of earning and spending money, of possessing more and more objects of comfort. We want to win more and more prestige and position in our society. And due to this, we waste the natural powers, abilities, and capacities that God has given us. We do not use them in the proper way to achieve happiness. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon, this sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hour, and are upgathered now like sleeping flower. Wordsworth says that we don't understand nature. We people don't realize that our life is deeply and permanently linked with life in nature. Students, he again says that we do not understand that there is no difference between our life and life in nature. We lose our hearts, our ability to feel, our ability to appreciate beauty, and to win consolation and peace from the appreciation of beauty. Wordsworth further says that we people are incapable of appreciating the beauty of natural scenes. We do not see the beauty of the sea when its surface becomes silvery because of moonlight. We do not appreciate the quietness of the wind that turns into a storm during daytime. These things do not touch and move our heart. And students, in the next lines, the coming lines, Wordsworth says, "For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not, great God. I would rather be a pagan suckled in creed outworn. So might I, standing on this pleasantly, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn, have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his reed horn." In these lines, Wordsworth feels deep frustration and unhappiness. He says that he would like to be a pagan. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not, great God. I would rather be a pagan, suckled in a creed outworn. So he says that he would like to be a pagan who believes in the powers of nature and worship them as gods and goddesses. He wishes he were like them. Students, the philosophy of the pagan has been rejected by the modern world, but Wordsworth wants to believe in it. If he were a pagan, he would be able to see beautiful sights in nature, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn, have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his reed horn. He says, if he were a pagan, he would be able to appreciate beautiful sights that the nature has to offer. These beautiful scenes would make him feel less lonely. He would be able to see Proteus, the sea god in Greek mythology, rising from the sea. He would be able to imagine Triton, another sea god, blowing his conch. Students, the sonnet expresses Wordsworth's philosophy of nature in simple and beautiful words. He believes that man can achieve true happiness only by loving nature. He feels that human life and life in nature are basically one. Man must feel unhappy if he forgets this permanent life. But when he lives in society, he only thinks about earning and spending. As a result, he loses his ability to achieve happiness by living in harmony with nature. This is the philosophy expressed in this simple sonnet. Students, we see that the basic thought is divided into two parts in this sonnet. The first two stanzas form one part. In it, Wordsworth explains his philosophy that man cannot be happy if he separates himself from nature. This thought is completed in the ninth line. From the ninth line to the end, Wordsworth expresses his wish to be a pagan. He describes only one scene in which the surface of the sea becomes silvery in moonlight and the winds blow softly. So, students, this very beautiful sonnet introduces us with Wordsworth as a sonneteer. Students, Wordsworth had a great admiration for sonnet form is revealed by his celebrated sonnet entitled Sonnet on Sonnet and Scorn Not the Sonnet. Students, this form was especially suited to his genius. For him, it was a heaven sent gift. Many of Wordsworth's letters show that he had pondered well over varieties of sonnet structure, and on the whole, he follows the Miltonic or the Petrarchan tradition. He rigidly maintains the Italian convention of dividing the sonnet into two parts, the octave of 8 lines and sestet of 6 lines. The thought is laid down in the octave and is further developed in the sestet. But he is more free in his use of pause. As far as the rhyme scheme is concerned, students, he follows Milton closely. He uses only 2 rhymes in the octave and 3 in the sestet. His favorite forms are traditional ADDA for the former, and CD and CDE and CDDE for the later. Varieties of these rhyme patterns are sometimes used but not with any very happy results. And students, here the discussion over this beautiful sonnet, "The Word is Too Much with Us," comes to an end. Thank you very much.